start. As you see from the topic, EU-funded internationalization of Pakistani universities. So European Commission is, supporting globally. In this, we will, analyze one of the programs that is called Erasmus Plus. So under Erasmus Plus, how Pakistani higher education institutions can get funding and how they can, internationalize their higher education institutions. So I think before going to talk, I need to introduce myself a little bit. I am professor at Sakaraibi University, and I did my postdoc from NTNU Norway. And I also did my PhD, that is a joint doctorate on Erasmus Mundus, that was in 3 different countries and 4 different universities. So before that, I had experience of research exchange under Eureka program. I went to Germany for 1 year back in 2009, 2010. And apart from that, I did my MS from FAS Karachi. So this is my brief introduction. I am also associated with EU in one way or the other way because I am Erasmus Mundus alumni. So I was a country representative for EMA. So EMA is working in close coordination with EUD, European delegation. So in Islamabad, we have EU delegation that work closely with EMA. So the main purpose of this EMA is basically to promote Erasmus Plus programs. So we have been doing this for our students, and we arrange several sessions, for those who are selected on different Erasmus scholarships and they are leaving for Europe. And those sessions are called pre-departure orientations. And some of those are covered in national media as well. So let us talk about what is my experience to talk on this topic. We have been involved in some of the projects which we ultimately got selected in those projects. And some of those success stories which we want to share is Sakaraibi has international credit mobility project which is funded by European Commission. And under this project, as I will explain in the presentation, faculty and students can go on exchange to European universities. So our students and faculty are regularly going on exchange to Sapienza. And we have another success story, that is NURPAT. NURPAT is a project which is funded by Norwegian Research Council. So under this project, there are fundings for 86 bilateral mobilities on faculty level and student level. And then recently, we have been awarded Erasmus Plus capacity building in higher education. So this is quite big project. In this project, we have 10 partners. It's a big consortium of 10 universities. From European side, we have LNU Sweden, NTNU Norway, and Sapienza Italy. And from Pakistan, Sakaraibi is coordinating this project. IBA Karachi is part of this project. LUMS is part of this project. And we have 3 remote universities as associated partners. So we have University of Baldistan in this project. University of Turbat is part of this project. And University of Balochistan is part of that project. So these are some of the projects we have already won. So I want to discuss this NORPAT. There was a call in 2021. And we applied for that call in May 2021. 150 applications were submitted, and only 28 projects were awarded. And 1 was awarded to NTNU Norway and Sakaraibi. So this project has a huge impact on society in Pakistan. If you see these two guys come from a very modest family background. So one is Subhan, and the other is Musa. Their families were unable to afford even their undergrad studies. So under OGDCL and THP program, they got chance to study at Sakaraibi University. And one of them is gold medalist. And then when we have this project, NARPAT Connect, This project has option of funding 6 fully funded master degrees from NTNU Norway. So these two guys are in the first intake. They have been selected for fully funded Norpart scholarship to conduct their master from NTNU Norway. And they were otherwise excluded, and they were not able to go there without this Norpart NTNU funding. So I think this is one of the success story of Sakhar IBA. So let us talk about Erasmus Plus. So Erasmus Plus exists for last 35 years. Okay, initially it was only open to European universities and European students. And now this Erasmus Plus is open to the whole world. In 2014 to 2020, they had a framework which has some of the fundings for universities from out of Europe, but they have redesigned a new framework, and now we have framework that is called 2021-2027. In this framework, there is a huge possibility of funding non-European universities. So before we go into the details, we need to understand two terms. So 3 terms actually. We need to understand 3 terms. Erasmus Plus fund under 3 key actions. So key action 1 is for individuals, and it supports mobility on a staff level and on a student level. Erasmus CBHE, okay, is on key action 2, and it supports institutions. And then on policy level, key action 3 is there, and it supports policy reforms and system level. So if we take example of key action 1, under this falls ICM, International Credit Mobility. And if we take example of key action 2, under this falls capacity building in higher education. And in key action 3, if you want to win funding, then there should be a collaboration from regulators and ministries. So this is basically policy reforms, infrastructure reforms, and system reforms. So our focus in this talk is today about key action 1, mobility of a student and staff, and key action 2, CBHE. There are 2 important terms we need to understand. First is program country. European countries which are part of European Union, and the countries which are not part of European Union like Macedonia, Serbia, Turkey, they are treated as a program countries. And if you see in the map, they are in a different color. And rest of the map is treated as partner countries. They are also known as third countries. These are countries basically not part of European Union, and they are not program countries. So under Erasmus Plus, they actually segregate the countries into program countries and partner countries. And there are some programs in which only partner countries are eligible to apply, and there are some programs in which basically both partner countries and program countries can apply. So these 2 terms will help you in the presentation. And there should be some housekeeping before we move on in the presentation. So if any university in Pakistan is interested to engage in Erasmus Plus programs, the very important thing is that they should create their PIC. Okay, and this PIC has 3 status. Okay, it's declared, sleeping, or validated. And for IBA Karachi, PIC is intact, and that is validated PIC. So once any institution which is not part of program countries, they should have PIC. And if any institution which is part of program countries, they should have Erasmus Charter for Higher Education. And when you're interested to collaborate in any university in Europe, you need to ask their status on Erasmus Charter. Mostly European universities are on ECHE, Erasmus Charter for Higher Education. So those universities from program countries have ECHE, and those universities from partner countries have PIC. Now they are eligible to apply for grants in Erasmus Plus program. So there are 4 types of grants which we'll focus today. One are actually academic mobilities. Under this we have international credit mobility, and we have EMJMD. And in academic cooperation, we have capacity building for higher education and job activities. Okay, what is ICM? ICM is actually a short-term exchange on a student level or on a staff level. For example, any student studying in IBA Karachi and he wants to spend one semester in any university in Europe, for example, in NTNU. So to do that, what we have to do, any faculty member from IBA Karachi has to prepare ICM application, and they have to basically interact any European partner. Through their European partner, they will approach the international office of their university. Then the international office of that university will file an application through a national agency to European Commission. The process is not complicated, just I'm explaining it. So once that application goes to European Commission, they evaluate that application, and if that has proper justification, the funding is awarded. Okay, and once that funding is awarded, on that funding, under European support, faculty and a student can go on exchange. So this exchange is not, unidirectional. Not only Pakistani students or staff can go to Europe, but that's bidirectional. Okay, there is a possibility in proposal when you decide it should be unidirectional or bidirectional. So in both directions, you have to decide how many students from IBA Karachi will travel to NTNU and how many faculty will travel from IBA Karachi to NTNU. And in return, how many faculty members from NTNU will come to IBA Karachi and students from NTNU to IBA Karachi. So this is a short-term arrangement. In this, actually, students will have their home university, and they will go on exchange to host university. Ultimately, they will earn degree from their home university. Okay? So these exchanges are not going to contribute anything in the degree. Ultimately, the student who is going on exchange, he will come back to home university and earn degree from home university. And a very common example of this is U grade. Okay? And you all know what is U grade. Yeah, I will tell you. So, every year in the beginning of November, calls are open for all these 4 programs which I will discuss today. And then by the beginning of February, there is an application deadline. So in this time frame, what discussion we are carrying out, these projects can be applied. So only purpose of this discussion is to prepare faculty to apply for any of these projects which will open soon in November, and we will have enough time to prepare application up to beginning of February. Okay? So under this ICM, if you see, in the old framework, the budget was little less, but in the new framework, they have increased the budget. Actually, they want to basically introduce more mobilities. And now they have also introduced more budget for the rest of the world. If you see, from this budget, 9% goes to Asia. Okay? As I told you, university from partner country, these terms I have already explained. Partner countries are those which are not European countries. So universities from partner countries can collaborate with universities from program countries, and this collaboration is with the help of faculty. And then they basically file an application to the national agency in the country of the university, and then that national agency put forward that application to ECHA. ECHA is Agency of European Commission, which manage these projects. So what is the motivation of universities? Actually, in this grant, not only the scholars or students going on mobility get benefit, but institutions are also benefiting. So there is a basically organizational support amount as well. So this will goes to institutions which are receiving students or faculty. For example, anybody going to NTNU, depending on the number of people going to NTNU, they will get support. And if anybody comes to IBS Karachi, then depending on the number of mobilities to IBA Karachi, they will get support from European Commission. So apart from organizational support, depending on the location you are, for example, if you're going to Norway, maybe you get 900 euro per month. But if you're going to south of Europe, you will get 700. So depending on the location, your stipend will be different. And apart from stipend, you will also get travel. And travel is again very simple. It depends on the travel distance. Okay? And depending on travel distance, it can go up to 1,500 euros. And if we talk about faculty, students spend one semester and maybe they can spend 2 semesters up to 12 months maximum. Okay, and for faculty, the duration is shorter. They can go for, up to 2 weeks. And they are funded, if they go for 2 weeks, they are funded around, for first 15 days, their funding will be around 70 per day as a daily allowance. Okay. So how to get involved? As I told, National Agency of Norway will prepare application on behalf of IBA Karachi. They will submit this application to ACA, Agency of European Commission. Okay, once that application is evaluated positively, then that university and TNU will sign agreement with European Commission, ACA, and then University of NTNU will also sign inter-institutional agreement with IBA Karachi. After this IIA, inter-institutional agreement, there is a possibility of a mobilities. After this inter-institutional agreement, IBA Karachi will basically nominate students who will go for exchange, and each student going for exchange have to, finalize their learning agreement. In that learning agreement, they have to justify their exchange, and they have to tell what courses they will take there, and in their university, how those courses can be recognized. So all these details will be finalized before mobility. Okay, so ultimate implementation is like, implementation start with inter-institutional agreement, then students are selected transparently and fairly, then they sign learning agreement, they go for mobility, they come back, their credits are recognized. And most of the time, sad story is that if a student go on U grade or on any other funded exchange, in Pakistan, their degree is extended. If they go for 6-month exchange, they have to invest 6 more months to complete their degree. But in case of ICM, European Commission, ensure their credits are given weightage in their degree, and their degree time should not exceed. So we have to take some measures on our academic level in academic councils as we can recognize these credits, because our credit system and European credit system is different. In Europe, we have ECTS. Okay. So our success story in this is that we have ICM with Spenzia, and our 4 faculty members went on this ICM to Spenzia, and our 2 students also went on this fully funded scholarship. Okay. The second agenda item of today is AMJM, Erasmus Mundus Joint Master. We need to understand 2 things. This program has basically different approach for individuals, and this program has a different approach for institutions. For example, for an individual, I am interested to do my master degree from Europe. So what I have to do, I have to search for AMJM master catalog. Just go on Google, write Erasmus plus master catalog. The first link you get is the catalog. And on that catalog, you will find programs more than 100. Select any 3 programs depending on their background, okay, and which allow your, a prior degree to get admission in that program. And then, as a student, file an application to the consortium. The consortium will evaluate that application. Okay, if you're selected, like evaluation process, I can explain. Evaluation process is simple. Initially, you file an application. There are 100 points in application. At least you should secure 75 points. Okay? And if you are securing 75 points, then there will be a Skype interview. Again, 100 points are in a Skype interview. And if you secure, 150 points, you are eligible to get admission, but the toppers will get a scholarship. And in most of the program, there are about 10 scholarships. So on a student level, you can go as an individual to earn master degree. In ICM, you are not earning a degree. You are going for exchange. You are getting degree from your home university. But in this case, you are going to earn a complete degree from European university. So AMJM support students when they are their consortiums and they are offering a joint master. Now let us talk about institutional prospect. how these consortiums are formed. Every year, European Commission invite calls for higher education institutions to form consortium and jointly offer master level degree programs. So these consortium which exist on master catalog more than 100, they were actually formed and proposals were prepared for those consortiums, and now they are there and funded for 74 months, and they can take foreign techs. So now here we are talking how IBA Karachi can be part of any joint degree. So IBA Karachi can collaborate with any European university, and they can form a consortium, and they can offer degree jointly. Ultimately, degree will be offered by European partners, and IBA can contribute in a way their student for some time can visit IBA Karachi in their tenure, and they stay here for some research or for earning some credits. Our faculty of IBA Karachi can go to European partners as a guest academicians. They can give lectures in those programs. So I think this program is for both individuals as well as institutions. So if we look into the details, I have already explained everything for this program. So this is an institutional perspective, and this is actually the structure. At least, HEIs should have 3 HEIs when they are offering a joint degree. On a student side, when there are consortiums, they can apply to those consortiums. So HEIs which are offering degree, they will also get institutional support. So this program is basically very successful on a student level. For the first time in history of Pakistan, last year, 166 students got selected for master programs in Europe. And globally, this is highest number. Pakistan was on the top. Highest students selected were from Pakistan. So as an individual, students were benefiting from AMGM. But as an institution, I don't find any institution in that master catalog list which is part of that program in which a joint degree is being offered. So far, Pakistan has not secured any funding as a consortium to offer a joint degree with European partners. Okay, so on a student level, we are very successful, and on an institutional level, we are lacking actually. So we have to look how we can improve the situation. Okay, fine. This is a very complicated grant. So it needs a lot of effort to prepare a proposal for a joint degree. You need to prepare curriculum. You need to prepare a consortium. So if you're not ready for AMGM, then there is a funding that is called actually AM. Okay, then there's a funding actually that is called AMDM. That is Erasmus Mundus Design Measures. In future, you're interested to offer a joint degree. You want to form a consortium. So you need funding to do this job. So then you can apply for Erasmus Mundus Design Measure. So this support forming of a consortium, offering of a joint degree. So this is a starter grant for AMGM. So this is actually AMDM. So again, Pakistan has no share in this AMDM. So the third agenda item today is Jean Monnet. This is a very interesting program. We have success story in this program, Namal University. Under this program, what happened in recent history, European integration is a success. This Eurozone is a success. This Schengen Treaty is a success. So if in non-European universities, you teach a module, you establish center of excellence, or you develop a chair, you develop a network, okay, for these activities, Jean Monnet funds. Okay, if you talk about European integration, Europe economic model, Europe intercultural, aspect, so there are a number of, subjects under which this grant is given. These are the details of the subjects. So if you are, offering such a study in partner country about Europe, so these, programs are also funded. Okay, and what is the magnitude of funding? Let us talk about that. In modules, they fund up to 30K, and in chair, they fund up to 50K, and in center of excellence, up to 100K. And if you see in this, there is only requirement of a single country. So there is no need for multiple countries. Only, IBA Karachi can establish a chair for European studies. IBA Karachi can offer course in economics which study European economic model. Okay, for this, Jean Monnet will fund that activity. Okay, if we talk about the success story, we have this success story from Pakistan. European Union as an actor in South Asia. So this is grant which is won by National University of Modern Languages at Islamabad. And the magnitude of grant is 17K. And this grant started in 2020 and will complete in 2023. So this is actually the third way we can benefit from Erasmus Plus program. If I sum up, so far, I talk about 3 ways to benefit from Erasmus Plus. One is international credit mobility. The second is Erasmus Mundus joint degree. Okay, and the third is Jean Monnet. The main focus of today's discussion is Erasmus Plus capacity building in higher education. Okay, so this is one of the important programs which I will focus and discuss in detail. Okay, the summary for that grant which was given to NAML. I just want to start with a story. In 2019, we started to prepare a proposal for Erasmus Plus capacity building in higher education. Okay, and we filed application in fall of 2020. That outcome was not successful. We filed an application, it was rejected, and then again, in the next call, I approached the consortium partners. Some of them, left the consortium. They were actually had impression this is something which we cannot achieve. So again, we form a consortium, and in that consortium, we added some new universities. So we form a consortium, which I discussed in the beginning. So again, we filed a proposal with some modification depending on the call for proposal. So in the second attempt, we won this grant. And so this is Erasmus Mundus capacity building and higher education. So how this grant supports? This actually modernize, internationalize, and improve the quality of higher education institutions. Okay, so there are 3 different strands for this grant. Okay, the one is for the starters. If you are new to CBHE, so you can go for the first. This is a very small amount of a grant, okay? And if you are basically involving any ministry or regulatory body, you can go for a third strand. And if you are implementing that project as a HEI, then there is a second grant. So there are 3 ways to benefit from capacity building in higher education, and their funding level is different. One is from 200K to 400K, and the second is from 400 to 800K, and the last one is up to 800K to 1000K, 1 million euros. Okay? So how to form a consortium for this? If you want to form a national consortium, so there should be at least 2 universities from the program countries, 2 European universities from 2 different countries, at least. And then from, for a national project from Pakistan, at least, if there are 2 universities from program countries, there should be 2 universities from the partner countries. Okay, like you have 2 universities, LNU, NTNU, from Norway and Sweden. So from Pakistan, maybe you have Sakhar IBA and IBA Karachi. Okay, so this is actually the eligible consortium, but you can add more. This is minimum. And for multi-country project, we need to understand what is multi-country project. So we need to understand, first of all, the regions. If you go to this diagram, you find region 5, that is Asia. And in this region, you will find Pakistan somewhere here. Okay, all the countries in that region, 5, okay, if you're interested to file capacity building proposal, if you're interested to file capacity building proposal with these countries, then it will be a multi-country project. Like for example, we are interested to take 1 university from Sweden, 1 from Norway, 1 from Pakistan, 1 from Malaysia. So this is a multi-country consortium. And there is a possibility of a cross-regional consortium. Okay, what is cross-regional consortium? Okay, for example, in Lot 6, we have, for example, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. So we want to file an application to universities from Europe, Sweden, Norway, one university from Pakistan, one from Malaysia, and the other from Uzbekistan. So we are interested to form a consortium, then that will be cross-regional consortium. So what we need to understand is there should be a valid consortium before you apply for a grant. So the initial step in preparing capacity building in higher education grant is to form a consortium. Once consortium is intact, then you can work with that consortium to mature a proposal. Okay, so what we did, we formed a consortium and we matured a proposal, on online education. During pandemic, you know that in developing countries, universities were shut. And students were out of campus, and for 4, 5, 6 months, they were waiting when universities will reopen. And universities were also waiting when this catastrophe will end. Ultimately, the catastrophe prolonged. Okay, universities in remote areas like Balochistan and in Baltistan were shut for 2 years, and students' academic delay was there. HEC, issue exceptional letter. For degrees, there is a maximum time limit. If you're doing MS, in minimum 2 years, you can do that. But at max, you can do it in 4 years. Due to pandemic, HEC issued a letter, the time bar can be increased because people were not able to go to universities. So what we thought of a proposal, in this catastrophe, European countries just switched the mode. They were doing physical education, they went to online education. But in Pakistan, universities in metropolitan cities suffered at least for 1 semester, and universities in remote cities suffered for maybe 1 year, 2 years. So we developed a proposal for online education in any catastrophe in future. Okay, if we want to switch from physical mode of education to online mode of education, what kind of a capacity building is needed? What kind of infrastructure development is needed? Okay, and what are the best practices of European universities during that catastrophe, how we can learn from them? So once we formed a consortium, we matured proposal and this online education in which content delivery and online assessment is there. So this proposal we pitched and we filed application and we emerged as successful. So what I'm trying to tell you, initial step in CBHE is to form a consortium. Okay, now for example, in November, this call is going to open and the deadline will be in the February. So the faculty over here can think of lines to form a consortium, and that consortium can then regularly meet, mature a proposal and file that proposal by the end of February. If you need any help, we are always there. Okay. So after this, once consortium is formed, you need to mature a proposal. To mature a proposal, you need to understand few things. In every call, European Union has some priorities. So for the last call, these were the priorities of a European Union. Green Deal means Europe, if you see, is producing a lot of CO2. If you discuss with any European, they dislike, this air travel, for example. There are, in Pakistan, if you see, we have so many mobile networks. In an old time, PTCL was something very big. Even operator of PTCL was not going to talk to you because they have a lot of importance. There was no competition in telco. Then there comes the era, we have competition in the telco, and now nobody likes PTCL. So in the very same way, PIA is now something very important. But if we have a competition in airlines, then PIA's importance will be lost. So in Europe, traveling on airline is cheaper than traveling on train. So these airlines contribute into CO2. And again, there are climate change issues. So the Europe is focused on reducing CO2 emission. So Green Deal is for that. Then digital transformation. This is European priority. Then migration mobility. Okay, for example, globally people migrate and their young generation suffer. So if people are migrating, at least their young generation should get proper education. So there should be inclusion of those migrants. Okay, then governance, peace, security, and human development, and sustainable growth and job. These are the European priorities. Then European delegations throughout world, they decide priorities for the regions. So we are in Asian region, okay? So these priorities are same for Europe and Asia. So when you write a proposal, you take into consideration European and regional priorities. So you have to basically put some elements in your proposal which basically align with European as well as regional priorities. Okay, so once a proposal is ready, you submitted it, there are two-step evaluation. The very first step is this proposal goes to experts, and those experts evaluate this proposal. The second step, once proposal crosses a certain threshold, means proposal gets more than 60 points, then the proposal where it is implemented, for example, it is implemented in Pakistan, they consult with EU delegation in Islamabad whether that project is feasible or not. So the second step in the evaluation process is input from EU delegation. So this is two-step evaluation process. And first, your proposal should qualify technically, and second, EU delegation should give positive comments about implementation of that project. So technical peoples evaluate proposal on these grounds. Relevance of the project, okay, 30 points. Quality of the project design and implementation, 30 points. Quality of a partnership and cooperation arrangements, 20 points. And sustainability, impact, and dissemination of expected results, 20 points. I will explain these. When we talk about relevance, what is the purpose of this project? Okay, and then what are the main objectives of this project? What are the wider objectives and what are specific objectives? Then how these objectives are linked to the regional priorities as well as EU priorities. And if you are adding some European institutions, how those European institutions add value to this project. So this is all about relevance. Then the second criteria is basically quality of project design and implementation, and that coherence of the proposal, methodology, okay, work plan, here you design some work packages, and then budgeting of the proposal, how you are going to control implementation with quality, and then environmental sustainability of the project. Okay, then quality of partnership, there they see management of the project, means is there any project management board, and what is the representation of that project management board, what is the composition, and then the task which that project will carry out, how those tasks are monitored by the project management board, what are the deliverables for those tasks, and then collaboration. If this is a consortium, equally every partner is putting effort or not. Means there are some partners which they are sleeping actually, and the other partners are doing. So they measure this from the deliverables. In each deliverable there is a lead, okay, and in each work package there is a lead, and there are certain deliverables which are responsibility of a different partner. So this should be actually a collaborative. Every partner should work for certain deliverables, okay. And then commitment. For example, this project is for 3 years, and there are 10 universities involved. One regulatory body is involved. Okay, if there is a change in management, okay, then this can topple the project. So then there should be element, okay, if there is a critical risk, how you are going to mitigate that risk. And the last element is sustainability, impact, and dissemination of expected results. Like the life of the project is 3 years. Okay, after life of the project, when funding is over, what is the sustainability plan? And how this project impacted the society? Okay, and then this can impact only society when you disseminate results. So there are areas like how you exploit the results of the project, how you're going to perform dissemination, what is the impact of that project, and how this project is sustainable. So this is actually expert evaluation. And from expert evaluation, if any project gets 60 score, that is basically going to cross the threshold, it can be awarded. But then only those projects with higher score, depending on the available fundings, will be awarded. But for all those projects which cross this 60 score, EU delegation in relevant country will be consulted, and depending on the input of EU delegation, whether this project can be carried out by institutions, whether those institutions are legitimate, recognized, okay, whatever the input EU delegation Islamabad gives, depending on that, they are basically inviting the proposals for grant agreement preparation. So grant award procedure, ACA take decision on the basis of evaluation committee's recommendation. Then according to the evaluation committee recommendation, there is a ranking list. They consult with EU delegation. They look into the available budget for the region and strand, and depending on they invite applications for preparing grant agreement. Okay, so now for these all 4 different kind of fundings, how to apply. In November, calls will be open. Okay, and in late February, there will be deadline. So we have to work in these deadlines. For example, we are interested to develop a capacity building in higher education proposal. So initial step is to form consortium, then discuss with that consortium on which proposal they are working, then match their expertise for that proposal. Each consortium partner has expertise or not, and depending on that, nurture a proposal, and then file proposal by the end of February. So international credit mobility, if we talk about that, only Pakistani institutions can become partner, and on behalf of Pakistani institutions, European institutions can apply. Like IB Karachi wants their student to go on exchange to, for example, Italy. They have to reach to any university in Italy, for example, Sapienza. So Sapienza will apply on behalf of IB Karachi. If project is funded, then this unilateral or bilateral mobility will take place. So IB Karachi cannot apply for ICM. So for ICM, program country universities can apply, not partner country universities. For Erasmus Mundus, master degree consortiums, okay, anyone can apply, either from the program country or the partner country. For capacity building in higher education, anyone can apply. Like any proposal from IB Karachi can be directly submitted on European portal. Okay, so there's no restriction, only European partners can apply. Job money activities, again, program countries as well as partner countries both can apply. So deadlines I have already discussed. Okay, how to apply? There is a funding and tender portal. Okay, all the application submission is online. So as I told in the very beginning, any institution in Pakistan, they need PIC. Okay, and that PIC at least should be declared. If they are interested, they will be filing the project. They need to validate that PIC with European Commission. Once that PIC is validated, so that institution can directly apply online for any kind of a grant. Okay, so on funding and tender portal, we can apply. Okay, so this is funding and tender portal. What application package contains? For all these different grants, application package contains 3 forms. Administrative form, part A. It has administrative information for capacity building in higher education, composition of a consortium, okay, the people involved in the project, and all these administrative details. Then there's a part C. This is actually a key performance indicator list where you have to check different things. I will show you one sample. Okay, and the main is part B. That is a technical proposal which is evaluated by experts. And this tells your story. So this is very important document which need a lot of time to prepare. And then you have to prepare a budget Excel sheet. Templates are given, and what you have written in this story in part B, you have to transform that story into work packages, and how each partner will contribute in those work packages, and how each partner will be rewarded for their work in the work packages. So what is work package actually? Okay, work package, is something where you are going to basically take certain activities and produce some outputs. So actually work package contains your milestones and deliverables. Okay, so you can basically structure your project around work packages. You can create as many work packages as you like, but note few things. Okay, a single activity is not a work package. Then a single task is not a work package. Okay, for example, 10% completion is not work package. Okay, 1 year is gone, not work package. Your time bar is not work package. So work package, if we talk about our proposal, we had some horizontal work packages. They start with the inception of a project and they complete by the end of the project. So like in our project, we have management work package that is horizontal. It will start with the inception of a project and it will end with the completion of a project. Okay, we have a quality assurance work package. We have exploitation and dissemination work package. So we have these 3 work package as horizontal work package. Then we have vertical work package. When project start, there is a work package for 6 months that is called preparation work package. That's vertical. It will complete in the first 6 months of the inception of a project. Then we have a faculty development work package in which we trained our faculty from European partners. Then we have an infrastructure development work package. And in this work package, we built infrastructure in remote universities like University of Baltistan, University of Turbat, University of Balochistan. Okay, and then we have actually, okay, policy work package, online education policy work package. Ultimate outcome of that project is online education policy. What is the mechanism to deliver content and what is the mechanism to actually assess content? And these policy recommendations can be discussed in national summit, which can be arranged by Higher Education Commission, because that is part of the project. And then these recommendations can be forwarded to Higher Education Commission. So I'm giving you an idea how a work package look like. So in our project, we have some vertical and some horizontal work packages. Okay, so you have to structure your project around work packages. Okay, so then your budgeting is all on work packages. Okay, for CBHE, there is a lump sum budget. So what you do, each work package costs something. And you add the cost of all work packages. And that become a lump sum grant. And what you propose in your proposal, it's not necessarily evaluators agree with that proposal of a budget. They can, put some cuts. We propose for our grant up to 0.8 million euros, but we were awarded 0.718 million. Okay? So you see, now there are beneficiaries. Each beneficiary contribute into a certain work package. Accordingly, that is awarded. Are rewarded, and then there are all work packages. Their amounts are calculated. This become your project budget. Let us talk about capacity building. As I said, my focus is capacity building today. In capacity building, from your project budget, you can claim up to 40% for staff cost. The manpower which is working for the project, they can be rewarded, some remuneration. So that can go up to 40%. Then there is a travel cost, that is in terms of mobility. Then we have cost of stay. If somebody travels, he has to, get some accommodation. Okay, then he needs some DA. You can, in this project budget, go for up to 30% of procuring some equipment. Like in our case, we are procuring some equipment for these remote universities. Okay, and then we are not doing this, but in any project, you can do up to 10% subcontracting. So these are different heads and CBHE in the budget. So we need to discuss them in a little detail. So for example, staff cost, the roles you can identify for CBHE, there can be a manager, there can be a researcher, teacher, trainer. Okay, there can be technicians which can support this project. And there can be administrative staff working for this project. So these are the roles which can be identified. And the travel cost depends on the distance. Okay, it starts from 20 euro and it goes up to, around, 1,500 euros. You see, it goes around 1,500 euros. So this is how you can calculate cost. And the equipment cost is the real cost, and the subcontracting cost is the real cost. So let us take some example. Now we need to understand staff cost. European projects are very transparent. They do not allow you to take public money and you consume it. Okay? So for example, if you want to take some staff cost, Pakistan is in this list. So manager in Pakistan get 47 euros for his each day of work. And same teacher, trainer, researcher up to 33 euros, and technician 22 euros, and admin 11 euros. Okay? We take some concrete example how we can then calculate. For example, there is a work package, preparation work package. And this work package goes for 6 months. And then you have to calculate the number of days manager works. So what you have to do, actually for preparation work package, in any beneficiary, manager cannot work for more than 6 months. So they take year, in a way, they consider it year of 215 days. Divided with 12, okay, so you get certain number, and then try to understand the percentage of manager's work. For example, manager is doing a job, he is taking this project as additional, he is not going to do full-time work, so he is going to give 10% of his time, 15% of his time, 20%, 50% for example, or you hire a new person, then 100% time. So take some example over here. If somebody is working on a work package which is for 6 months, then the days he can claim is 107. Okay? And that he can claim only when he is working full time. But if he is working part time, then days he can claim, okay, that is actually this 215 divided by 12 into 6 multiplied by 0.5. So it's around 74 days. Okay, I have given you example how you can calculate the days. Okay, now come back to the old slide. Okay, for example, for a work package in which we hired a manager which is working for 6 months full time, he can be paid for 107 days. Multiply that 107 days into 47. So this is the staff cost. This is how you can calculate a staff cost. I already told you, travel is simple. On European Commission portal, you have a distance calculator. Where you are traveling. You are traveling to Oslo. Okay, from where you are traveling. You are traveling to Karachi. Just give these destinations. It will give you the distance. And from the formula which we discussed, you can see how much you can claim for that travel. Okay, from this formula, you can see how much you can claim for the travel, depending on the kilometers. So, these budgets are very transparent. Okay, nobody can consume any penny. Okay, now then, daily allowance. For example, you want to stay in Oslo for 3 nights, for example, 4 days. In that situation, for example, we take example of Sweden. I am traveling to Sweden. I will stay there for 3 nights and 4 days. So I can claim up to 160 euros for accommodation. Is that clear? And then I can claim up to 97 each day as a daily allowance. So this is how you can calculate the cost. I think I have also given these formulas over here. So this is becoming a bit complicated, so I want to make it easy. What we discussed so far is the beginning of the story. Okay, as you can see, motivation is what gets you started. Then commitment is what keeps you going. I have a few more slides. Are you interested? So we have to discuss some practical examples where there are some grants which were awarded from Pakistan. So these slides will motivate you to write some proposal. Okay? This is one of the grants which was awarded to a Pakistani institutions. So these titles as well there as project summaries will give you idea what kind of proposal can be for CBHE. So if you see active learning in engineering education, here you will find ISRA Islamic Foundation University. You will also find National University of Computer and Emerging Sciences. They were beneficiary from this project, and this project was led by a university from Greece. So this is the project summary for this proposal. I will not read the whole text. I will share slides. You can see and you can get inspiration, and you can see what are the lines on which you can develop a capacity building proposal. So far in Pakistan, we have won 12 CBHE projects, excluding this outcome, which is still in process. Those universities which applied this year on 17th February, they got the result. They are preparing grant proposal, agreement. Once agreement is signed, they will also be listed on EU portal. So far, they are not listed. Okay, excluding this year, we have 12 grants. Okay, then the second story is blended learning courses for teacher educators between Asia and Europe. Okay, here you will find University of Modern Languages, Islamabad, and National Islamic University. Okay, these two universities from Islamabad. And this is their project summary. Another example is Smart Textile, modernization of curriculum of textile engineering and textile technology in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Pakistan. Again, in beneficiaries, you will find NED, University of Engineering and Technology, which is very near. Okay? Yeah, okay, great. So then you will, yes, this is the only university. Yeah, NED only. Okay, Bahauddin Zakariya is as well. Yes, Bahauddin Zakariya University is there. So 2 partners in this project. Okay, this is the summary of the project. Then developing tailored comprehensive services for young migrants. Okay, this is the project in which you find International Islamic University, LAMS here in this project. You see, there are amounts which are awarded. This is duration of the project, and there is the project number. Every detail is there. Okay. Project summary. And then modernizing ICT education for harvesting innovation. Okay, and in this, National University of Computer and Emerging Sciences. Okay, ISRA is also there. Project summary. Then this is where you will find IBA Karachi. Okay. So you see Institute of Business Administration, Karachi. So you have one project from CBHE, and that is rethinking cybersecurity in a Pakistan, human factors essential role. Dr. Shakil will tell me who is heading this project here. Okay, good. So now you have another project in your portfolio. Now, IBA Karachi has 2 projects. This is project summary, and then transforming academic knowledge to develop entrepreneurial university in Pakistan. Okay, here you can see LAMS. Here you can see University of Gujarat, COMSET, Government College University, Lahore. Capacity building and exchange towards attaining technological research and modernizing academic learning. Here you will find Mehran University. Okay. So this is building internationalization in Pakistan. Our talk today is internationalizing higher education institutions of Pakistan through EU funding. Okay, so this is again an internationalization. You see here we have National University, NUST, then LAMS, we have COMSET in this, and we have Pakistan Institute of Fashion and Design. So these are from Pakistan. Okay, this is again one project for Pakistani universities, that is COMSET, Capital University, okay, Islamic University, Bahawalpur. Then this one, capacity building for digital health monitoring and care systems in Asia. So from Pakistan, NUST, and from Pakistan, Capital University. Okay, Dr. Shakil, allow me to correct myself. There is one project already where Pakistani University is coordinator. So this is one project where Pakistani University is not only beneficiary, but there are Pakistani universities, they are coordinator. So Capital University of Science and Technology is coordinator in one of the projects. So this is, which is single-handedly dealt by Capital University as a coordinator, and there are various universities, part of this project. So Dr. Amir Qayyum is heading this project from Capital University. Okay, project summary. So now we have seen these different projects which were awarded in the past calls. For last call, we are awarded a project. And I want to show you how a CBHE project should look like. So I think now I will use my laptop for this, and I will need HDMI. If you allow me to sit and use it. So once you are awarded project, so you have access to this grant management service of European Commission. So if we go into the details of documents, they invite you once your project is selected for award. So they send you invitation letter. So this is from European Commission agency called ECA. So our project is awarded under capacity building, and the amount which is awarded is 0.718 million euros. So we have to basically prepare a grant agreement and sign this project. And important thing which I want to share with you is evaluation results. As I told you, criteria for the award, you can see according to that criteria, evaluation is carried out. So this is evaluation summary and details of the partners and their respective budget. And total score is 100. Threshold is 60, we got 74. In relevance, we got 25. So these are all comments depending on the award criteria. Okay, I discussed this award criteria, and each criteria the project is evaluated and it is given certain score. Okay, so now we need to see the proposal. I told you this proposal has different parts. Okay, one. So this is Form A, that's more administrative in nature. So that's Form B probably. Yeah, this is Form B, the technical part. So this is the complete proposal. I just quickly want to show you work packages, how they look like. Okay, work packages look like that. Okay, you have to talk about the duration of work package, who is going to lead the work package, their description, Okay, the task which will be carried out in those work packages, then the milestone of the work packages and deliverable against each work package. So this is part B, and similarly we have part A and C. They are more administrative in nature, so we are not going to discuss them. Okay, if you go to grant preparation agreement, so you encode your work packages into Sigma. So now this detail of work package is more clear. I want to discuss that with you. So here, for example, we have a work package, and we have preparation work package, and the details, who is going to lead this work packages, when it will start, when it will end, what are the objectives, what are different deliverables. So if you want to see how much effort is required for this work package, effort of each university is required, and that is listed here. Okay, so against each work package you have to provide the details. Once you provide these details, then if you just look here in financial information, against each work package, each beneficiary is awarded depending on the details you provided in the work packages. Okay, work package 1, 2, 3, accordingly each beneficiary is awarded, and the details are here. So I think here I want to close this session, and I want to open the floor for question and answers. Thank you very much. Yes, please. Actually, we are discussing one of the funding track of European Commission. And the projects you have seen, they are all on capacity building in higher education. So that's the reason you see higher education involvement more in these projects. So there are some other tracks which support, this STEM education. So you have to look into the horizon, and you will find some, options where you can apply for projects which can, improve the education on a school level. Okay, science and technology education, yes.
So
there is a wide portfolio. If just you log in, you will find wide portfolio. But we discuss only 4 possible options, and they will open soon in November.
Right. And when we are talking about funding, obviously, let's say 6 months or 3 years, rather depending on the project. So what areas, what resources are considered as part of that funding? For example, human resources is one of them, right? And what about other resources such as capital cost, the operational cost, the visits, and are they considered in that, or there's
like in every project, there is budgeting details. Right. Means you have certain heads in which you can claim budgets. For CBHE, I told you there are 5 different heads in which you can claim budgets, and in that there is a cost for staff, there is a cost for travel, there is cost for equipment, and there is a cost for subcontracting. So these are the heads for CBHE. In each grant, there are different budgeting heads, and under that, those budgeting heads, you can claim amounts if there is some head related to what you want to claim. Okay, so the important thing is this is one model of budgeting, which is lump sum. There are some models which are not based on a lump sum model. Okay, in those you can have real cost provisions there as well.
with quotations as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All these will be required.
Yeah.
Just one last question. So we are talking about fundings. We are talking about that these things are considered. But all that information that you are telling us, that's good. But still, there might be some portals, some online resource that we can use to
Yeah, yeah.
access that information.
Yeah, European Commission portal. So as I was showing you here, I just logged into that portal. You don't need to log into that portal. Just click European Funding and Tender portal. Even if you have no account, you have access to all the documents for each call. So all the call for proposal are advertised on European Funding and Tender portal. You don't need any account. If you don't have an institutional account, you can access easily as an individual. Hence, you have access to all those calls. And once you are applying for a grant, then we have to take into consideration whether that support K Action 1 individuals or it is going to support K Action 2 organizations. So if it is supporting individuals, as an individual you can apply for the grant, and if it supports organization, then your organization has to apply.
I'm sorry, just one
Yeah,
question.
sure. Go ahead.
When you said individual and organization, I also saw there are coordinators and there are partners as well.
For example, for individual, I want to explain, if you want to go on postdoc, there is a Marie Curie individual fellowship. So you can apply in European portal as an individual. If you want to apply for CBHE, so your organization will have a PIC. Under that PIC, you will apply that project.
My question is for the second one, when we are talking about CBHE and organizations applying. So is it there that the titles or the areas are decided that these are the partners who are applying for that, or we have to communicate with the partner from the start, or we have to apply that if somebody else is applying on the same topic, same area, we can be a partner. So what's the strategy?
Great. So the first thing is, if you are preparing a proposal which needs a consortium, so it's responsibility of a consortium coordinator to get that consortium in a firm. Inception of a consortium is the effort of a consortium coordinator. And how to find partners from Europe? If you go on a Facebook page of Horizon, you will find so many people, they are looking for partners from third countries. I mean partner countries. Yeah, that was one framework, but that is more than 2020. So you can find partners, and as well as, do you know Erasmus? So on Erasmus, you will always find people who are looking for people from partner countries to collaborate with, because European funding agencies make sure all funds do not go to Europe. So when any European university is interested to apply for any proposal and they need partner from countries out of Europe, they are also basically propagating this information. They are looking for the partners. Even on European Commission portal, there is a search tool which help you to find partners in your relevant field.
It's not like we only need them, they also need us.
Yeah, that's true, because they are not funding only Europe. So they need a consortium where there are program countries as well as partner countries. And European portal support this search tool of how to find a partner depending on your preferences. But to apply for a grant on organizational level, you have to form a consortium. And this is what consortium coordinator does.
And there's a limit for that, like
There is a minimum requirement, as I said, for capacity building. In capacity building, at least you should have 2 countries from Europe and at least 1 university from each country. For example, Sweden, Norway, LNU from Sweden, NTNU from Norway. So this requirement of program country is fulfilled. Then if you're applying for a national project from Pakistan, you should have at least 2 universities, because there are 2 from program countries. Okay, but you can have more. So this is minimum requirement. There is no limit on maximum.
thank you so much.
Walaikum Assalam.
Sir, I have 2 observations and 2 questions. So the first observation, please do correct me if I'm wrong, that I found the labor costs. I found that is there a discrimination between the labor costs, like given to managers in the developed countries versus the developing countries, because there were like 3 sections. So how come the developed countries are getting around 100 euros per day, and then people who actually need it, that is in the developing countries, are just getting 47 euros, and even in that there's like division based on 6 months and then full time and part time. So that is something that I found. And the other observation that I think, and I would reflect, is that I think before or probably making the consortium, I think universities over here in Karachi, I think they need to have an MOU with universities abroad. Am I right or wrong? Please do correct me. And the questions that I wanted to ask you is that what is your individual motivation in carrying out such projects?
Okay. So for the first thing, it's like that, take it or leave it. There is a concept of universal basic income. If you talk about universal basic income, that will be different in Norway and that will be different in Pakistan, because the standard of living is different. The taxation is different. If I was living in Norway, believe me, मैं पूरा साल बाल नहीं बनवाता था. वजह ये थी कि अपॉइंटमेंट लेना पड़ता था और पैसे इतने होते थे कि you can't afford. So that's the reason people in Sweden, in Norway, in program countries, they have a higher wage. And people in Asian countries, they have a lower wage. And this is international phenomena. So according to the input of few delegations in different parts of the world, they calculate these tables. What are the living standard of that particular country? And depending on that, they calculate the wage. I want to tell you an interesting thing. If you have not seen with proper concentration, if you see Afghanistan is our neighbor. As a manager, Afghanistan can get 77 euros, but for Pakistan, it's 47. How come? Because Afghanistan is a hard area. If any faculty go and serve in Quetta, they get hardship allowance. Do you understand? So there is a huge deliberation on EU end, and then they decide rate. And once they decide, they do not have special arrangements. So this is their standard, take it or leave it. So the first observation. And the second observation, if you recall.
The MOU, in order
Yes, great.
to create the consortium, do we need to sign an MOU with
Great.
foreign universities like in Europe or in our region as well?
To develop a consortium, you don't need any MOU. You start with collaborating academicians. If somebody is ready to collaborate with you, just to nurture a proposal, file a proposal. Once proposal is granted, the coordinator will sign agreement with European Commission, and then in turn, coordinator will have consortium agreement with the beneficiaries. So this agreement thing is once you are awarded, not prior to award. Like even in capacity build, ICM, International Credit Mobility, inter-institutional agreement is once you are awarded, not prior to that. So initially you have to form a consortium, you collaborate with academicians around the world, and if your proposal is awarded, then the coordinator will sign different agreement and the beneficiaries will sign different agreement. And the last point?
What is your individual motivation?
Okay, great. If somebody can help me to go to ये आ सकता है स्लाइड्स में दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ मोटिवेशन के लिए.
The commitment slide.
I shown you a slide. Okay, I did it. In our part slide, I shown you a picture of two guys. I want to just go back to that picture. Yeah. I want to tell you a story for this. In my life when I was struggling back in 2007, 2008, I found a consortium which was Eureka. And to build a consortium and from Pakistan to put an effort, there was a professor in LAMS called Shafe Shumail. Okay, they brought this consortium up, and this consortium was supporting student mobility. So Shafe Shumail will never know the consortium he formed that benefited Javed to go to Europe for 1 year in Germany, and he stayed there. Okay, he benefited from the effort of Shafe Shumail. He will never be able to know that. I never met him. I never told him. So then this 1 year experience in Germany transformed my life. And this motivated me to get Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And after getting my degree from Europe, PhD degree, it again motivated me to get postdoc fellowship on RCM, and I did my postdoc from Europe. And this is one guy behind this all success, Shafe Shumail. Okay, so Shafe Shumail does not know he contributed a lot in my life. Now these two guys, Musa and Subhan, they come from a very modest background. Subhan's father is a barber. He was not able to afford university education. So one fine morning, IBS signed an agreement with OGDCL, and we started our signature program called OGDCL National Talent Hunt Program. Under this program, this Subhan and Musa got chance to get into university. For their 4 years study, they were fully funded, even they were paid stipend. And one of them is a gold medalist, Subhan. And the guys wrote a proposal for NORPAT. They won that grant, and that grant was given to them because God wanted to send Subhan and Musa to Norway, because they cannot go Norway on their own expense. Otherwise, they are socially excluded. So the effort of Javed, Dr. Sher, and anyone else contributed in the life of Subhan and Musa. So what I'm trying to tell you, my personal motivation is when we are putting effort, we are benefiting others. We are paying way for other, and this is what nature does.
Excellent.
Okay? और कोई सवाल?
Sir, PIC के ऊपर if you could shed some light, you said that universities need to have this PIC in order to like validation.
As an institution, they need to register with European Commission, right? And the way to register with European Commission for those which are program countries is to get personal identification code for the university. So anyone in the university and the management position, like in IB Karachi, OREC can do that. In LUMS, Office of Research is doing that. In IBS Sakhar, international office is doing that. So they register their university on EU portal. So once they register, they get a number that is called PIC. Now that is declared number. Then they need some documents like the act of the university, okay, like the statutes of the university. There is a one form that need to be signed by the rector or vice chancellor of the university. If you upload those documents, then this PIC is validated. So once this PIC is validated, EU is sure the institute is legitimate and they can fund it.
How long does it normally take for?
Great. To create a PIC, it takes just few minutes, and to get it validated, it takes months. Yeah.
Like if we need to apply for the November.
You just create it in 5 months and apply. Once you get grant, then you can validate it. We have partners, their PIC is under validation. Yeah. Any other question? Thank you very much.